Perfect. All right. As we wait for everybody else to file in, how are you guys doing? You all feeling good? Yeah. Perfect. I know that Ayub slept for the first time without acid reflux in 2 years, which is crazy that someone who would spend so much time reading about working out and diet would not make the connection.
I know, right?
Their diet
I
is the
know,
reason.
right?
We'll see.
Happy New Year, lads. Love you all. Mwah.
Happy New Year to you too, Ayub. Thank you. All right, so for today, we got a few things that we can cover. I think it was Sonia, you can correct me if I'm wrong, dropped something in critiques for me to review a few days ago. I haven't gotten time to get to that yet, but we can look at it today if you want to. Yeah.
I'm a little apprehensive because
Sorry, repeat that. My volume is really low.
can you hear me? Am I audible?
Say that one more time. Maybe get closer to your mic because my volume's all the way up and I still can't hear you.
Am I audible?
Oh, there you go. Yes, perfect.
Oh, hi. Okay. Firstly, I'm really confused right now. Like, I see the chat, but I don't see any screen. Is it like a universal call or something? Like, what's happening? I thought there'd be an event link.
I don't know exactly what you mean. This is usually how it goes down. So I'm not sharing anything. Yeah.
Is this like a specific link, like a Google Meet call? I don't know how
Oh,
calls
no. It's
in
this.
general on.
It's us just hanging out here.
I mean, you're just omnipresent everywhere.
Yes. It's just office hours in the voice chat.
Okay. So anyone who's currently online on the chat will be able to hear us.
Correct.
How it happened?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, cool. Great. Yeah. Okay. Up to speed. I did share something, but Gaurav gave me some really good feedback, and it also does not really apply anything that I've learned from, say, CP mega course or just Lesbi Kyle. So I prefer if we held out on reviewing that piece today. I'd want to go back, work a little bit more, and then share something that I think
Okay.
would be comfortable sharing with everyone.
That sounds good. So then if you want to, next week we can review it.
Cool. By next week, I think I'll have at least 2 more pieces. So yeah, I'm excited. And thank you.
Awesome, for sure. Cool. So, friends, we have a lot of stuff that we can get into today, but let me start by asking, do we have any questions or is anyone working through anything right now that they want help with? If yes, we'll start with that. If no, then I'll just start talking about myself. Nice. While I'm waiting on that, I'm just going to go turn off my notification sounds. So give me one sec.
What is OS?
There's like 100 notification sounds that I've got to turn off. I hate this. Oh, there's a button at the top that says disable all. Should have just hit that. Perfect. Cool. All right. So, so nobody's got anything. Cool. I would like to talk about a new AI workflow that I'm working on that you guys might be impressed by. This is right now, I'm developing it for content writing. So if anyone is writing YouTube scripts or if you're doing anything that's like social media captions or anything like that, I haven't tested this out with emails or ads or more direct response style stuff yet. But I have been playing around with it for the scripts that I write for Dr. Mike, and I just want to show you the really cool setup that I have so you can emulate it if you're working on anything similar. So let me just start that screen share. I hate this. Sorry, I've got to enable the screen share, and I think I'm going to have to restart Discord. Give me a sec. All right, check, check, check. Yeah, good. Beautiful. All right, so screen share. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let me know if you guys can see that. Yes, no, maybe. Okay, cool. Perfect. So, the biggest project that we're working on this month, or I guess this quarter, with Dr. Mike, Sonia, what you're going to have to do is go to on the left side where you have office hours, and then just click on that, and you should be able to then see like the inside of the voice chat, and one of the screens will be my screen, and then you can click on it, and you should be able to view everything. So with Dr. Mike, we want to really increase the organic content output. So if I say we have to produce 7 scripts per week, you guys can probably understand how how much content that is. Like that is crazy, right? So in the past, imagine you are a script writer and you're trying to write stuff that's like 10, 15, 20-minute long form YouTube scripts. If that's what you got to do, then for each script, you have to look for inspiration. You have to find your idea. You have to develop your idea into an outline. You have to turn that outline into the actual script. You have to come up with the titles, with the thumbnails, sometimes depending on how big your team is. And then you have to do edits, and then you have to send them over to the guru. And that whole process, like, you probably can't reasonably do 7 scripts a week by yourself because that's if you're working 5 days a week, that's over 1 script per day. Like that is just so much volume. But what if there was a way for you to use AI to write your script in just 1 to 3 hours? That'd be pretty sick, right? So that is what I built. And initially I had it designed as a workflow with 3 different custom GPTs where there would be a first GPT that was the ideation GPT, the next one would be the narrative or the outline, sorry, and then the third one would be the script writer. So you plug all 3 of those together and they give you everything that you would need. But that that took a long time still. Like it would take me about 4 hours to do a script like that because I would need to give super contextual information to each of the GBTs as we move through that workflow, right? So I would need to be like, okay, cool, idea GPT, get all the input, and then move that over to the narrative, or sorry, to the outline GPT, and then take all that and move it over to the scriptwriter GPT, and it loses context each time. So I was like, instead, what if I do these scripts are between 10 and 20 minutes? So I'm like, instead, what if I do all of that within a single project? So if you've got ChatGPT, you know that you can build custom GPTs or you can create a project. And with a project, you can upload files, and then it's kind of like a central knowledge base, if you will, where everything that you've worked on is all together in the same spot. So here with this YouTube script writing GPT, I have in my knowledge base different things like examples of Dr. Mike's best performing scripts. I've got examples of how to write hooks, examples of how to write the CTA. I've got information about my offer. I've got Dr. Mike's brand voice, right? Like all of these things that my GPT would need to know. And I'll actually find that to show you right now. So this latest iteration, hold up, has these. So I've got video title templates, which I just use this app, 1 of 10, where I can track other YouTube channels that are related to mine, and then I can see how they're performing, right? So once that loads, I can see, for example, this one is working really well, and I can see the title, I can see the thumbnail, I can click on it and go to the content. So what I would want to do is look for all of these really high performing videos, anything that's like 2x or more, and then I can go and model the title or the content or whatever, right? So I start off by looking through these and finding titles, and then I throw them into this title template, and I'm like, okay, cool, this is the formula, this is the example, this is the formula, and then I give that to the project. That way it has it in the knowledge base, so it knows what titles, like what a good title looks like. And then I do the same thing for thumbnail text, and then I do the same thing for hooks, and I do the same thing for objections, for curiosity gaps, which is like open loops, just full sections, CTAs, and then I've got Dr. Mike's brand voice here. I've got Dr. Mike's top performing scripts, and then I've got this is like part of the VSL script that we're running where I describe what the program actually is. So I've got all of this and a little bit more in the knowledge base. So when I'm using this, or when I'm using a project, I have access to all those files. And with that, then, when I'm writing to ChatGPT, I can ask it to reference the stuff here, and it's going to know exactly what I mean. So I'll take a look. I think it was in this one. I'm just doing a bunch of tests right now. But yeah, so this was a test. Hold up. This was another test. Okay, cool. So here is how I'm using this, and you guys can build something similar for yourselves if you just like create the knowledge base and then work on this. I'll answer that in a sec, Sonia. And then work on this with the same kind of workflow that I got. So here, I've also got in my knowledge base my avatar, whose name is Michael Chen. So if I say that I'm writing for Michael Chen, it understands his desires, his pain points, whatever. So I say, hey, I'd like your help analyzing the script, and I'm going to be writing for Michael Chen. Here's the thumbnail, here's the video title, here's the script, which is really long. It's like an 1.5 hour long video. And then what I would like you to do for the analysis. So give me the core idea, give me the tone, give me the style, and give me the language. And then it gives me that output. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now can you analyze the sections of the of the reference video? Okay, cool. Now what opportunities do you see if we were to make it more specific to Michael Chen? Okay, perfect. Right. And so I'm just running it through this workflow. And the way that you can come up with a workflow yourself is to ask, what would I have done manually? And then just prompt the GPT to do that, right? So I know that if I wanted to write this script by myself, this is exactly what I would be doing, and the GPT is just making it faster. So I can tell it, for example, right here, with my last output, or my last input, I would like to identify gaps that speak to my target audience's desires, pains, and objections. If I were to do it manually, I'd have to read through the script and then be like, okay, cool. These are the top 10 desires, pains, and objections for Michael Chen. Check mark. Okay, he talks about this one. Check mark. Okay, he talks about this one. X, no, he doesn't talk about that one. That's an opportunity for me, right? And do it very manually. Whereas this large language model, what's really cool about it is that it understands the context of what I'm asking it, right? So it's able to do that kind of analysis without me needing to spend all of my time like looking through the data or just reading the words, right? Whatever it's going to be that I'm trying to do myself. And it understands, based on its training data and based on what I've uploaded into its knowledge base, what I'm looking for exactly, because it has the description. I'll show you. I'll show you exactly what it knows about Michael Chen. This I spent a lot of time on, right? Like I spent probably 2 weeks developing this avatar doc. I can't remember where it is. One sec. So it has access to this, right? A GPT is not going to work if you just go in and prompt it and don't give it any context and don't give it any reference material. Like, it's not going to give you a good output. But if it's got access to a document like this and it's able to see, okay, cool, these are the top 10 desires. Let me scan the script and see, does the script talk about having energy to be present at work and for his family? In the context of the script, does it actually matter? If yes, then does it talk about it? Number 2, number 3, right? And so it can do that a lot faster than what I'm able to do. And then it can give me an output where it's like, okay, cool. These are the things that I've identified as opportunities. So now I know what I can optimize within the script, and that's going to help me. So I'm not just ripping the script off, right? Like when we're swiping copy, we're never just copying it word for word. Instead, what we're doing is looking for opportunities to make it more clear for our audience what the big benefits are related to our specific offer in the voice of our guru. So even if I'm going and looking at something that's like a really, really good sales page, I'm not just copying those words. I'm like, okay, well, I need to rewrite this in Dr. Mike's voice. I need to rewrite this for the DNA sequence protocol. I need to rewrite this for a high performer instead of a general BizOp audience, right? So different things like that. And all of that I'm able to do very quickly and basically automatically with this. And then I continue to work through my workflow. And what's really cool is that once you get all of your outputs, there's a feature called the canvas in ChatGPT. And I'll show you what that looks like. It essentially opens up a new window where, hold on, here I'm just like generate the sections and modify this, modify that. So you're like working with it as it's producing, right? But here you can see this is the first time that I access the canvas. So it's pretty much halfway through. I think I'm going to go all the way to the bottom to open it back up. Yeah. So the canvas, this is really cool because it's like another window within your GPT where you can like edit and play around with things yourself without having to ask the GPT. So if I wanted to change this paragraph, I could just go in here and be like, change. And that allows me to be a lot more quick with my optimizations if I just notice a few things that I want to tweak, as opposed to having to write out a prompt and then ChatGPT is probably going to misinterpret it, change things. Even if I say like, hey, don't change this, just change this, it's probably going to change this anyway, right? So then I can open up a canvas and I can come into my canvas and I can start to play around with things manually and see the optimizations. And if I have specific sections that I want to choose, I can just highlight that and then be like, hey, can you expand on this? Or can you reference this here? Or one thing that I did here is we're talking about mindset stuff, right? And the stories that you tell yourself that were helpful but are no longer helpful. So that's the context of this. Here, originally, it went from this paragraph into this paragraph. But I'm like, what would be really cool is if we add examples. So let's add some stories. So I just highlighted this and I'm like, this is good. Can you write 3 stories that help the viewer, Michael Chen, understand what we're talking about in this section? So then ChatGPT wrote this. I didn't modify it, I don't think. It's just like, hey, story number 1, I'm the guy who does everything himself. And that probably served you. It was good for these reasons, but now it's not good for these reasons. Or story number 2, it was good for these reasons, now it's not good. Story number 3, it was good for these reasons, now it's not good. So you can pick out specific sections within the copy or the content that you're writing and ask it like, okay, can you include a case study about this? Here's some information about what I did with my client. Or can you add in some evidence here? Here's a study that I pulled about insulin resistance in men over 45. Let's use this to prove my point, right? So to go back to Sonia's question, which I'll just scroll back up so I can read it exactly. Where do we stand on AI won't replace copywriters? Have I been ignorant in presuming it won't? So AI at a low level, if you're just like someone who's writing and your client doesn't understand the value of what you're writing, then yeah, for sure, AI is going to replace those copywriters. And there's not really anything we can do about that. If someone doesn't put value in your work and they're like, it's just words, then AI for sure can make just words, right? There's nothing that you can do to convince anybody, period, if they don't understand the value of, I mean, you could, but it's not worth the fight, right? So AI will replace the copywriters who had those kinds of jobs, and the businesses will get whatever they get from it. And sometimes good enough is good enough, and that's fine. But as you can see with what I'm demonstrating here, you have to be able to think like a copywriter, right? Like what gives me the advantage is using AI plus using my own brain. It's not that I'm going into the AI and I'm typing, hey, write me a high converting email for an e-commerce product, right? Something like that's never going to work. What I had to do was I spent 2-3 weeks writing out all of my knowledge base, right? Like what is the stuff that I know as Jonathan that the AI will need, that I'll need to ask it for as I reference things, as I produce my content. So I needed to write out that full avatar doc. I needed to write out my exact workflow of like, these are the steps that you need to take. I needed to write out references for this is what a good hook looks like. This is what a bad hook looks like. This is what a good title looks like. Here's the template, right? All of those things. I needed to collect the testimonials and put them all together so that then I can ask it to reference those testimonials. So there's a lot of work that goes up front that I know I would have had to do myself if I were writing the copy. But if you're just using a blank GPT, you don't have that information, so the output's not going to be as good. And then once we get into the actual workflow, right, the writing part, I know what my process would have been. So I can just ask the GPT to do that. For example, I use Perplexity and not ChatGPT for my research. But let's say I'm doing research. I can't just go into Perplexity and say, hey, build me a customer avatar for this person, right? It will probably be able to do a good enough job. But Jonathan, as a person, I know the specific things that I'm looking for. I know where I would look for them. I know the nuance involved. And so I can go into Perplexity and I can say something like, hey, I'm looking for exactly this person, exactly what they're saying about this exact thing. Can you look in these places to get me that information and also give me the references so that I can go manually check, right? Because every once in a while AI makes stuff up. So if I know exactly what I'm trying to accomplish, how I would have accomplished it, and I can be precise and speak to the AI the way it needs to be spoken to, provide enough context, give it the knowledge base, all of that stuff, then the AI is acting as an assistant for me where it can speed things up. But it's never going to replace, I don't think, copywriters. It's never going to replace copywriters at a certain level, like beyond beginner, I don't think, because it doesn't understand how to do these things by itself, right? So as long as you know what you're doing, you should be okay. And then you can use this to speed it up. One other cool thing about the canvas, just going back to this for a sec, you can see here that there are parts highlighted. This is just when I'm asking it for timestamps. I'm like, break out these sections, tell me how you would do like the timestamps, whatever. But earlier, I was asking it to flag certain lines that would show me certain things, right? So I think I said something at one point where I was like, I'm looking for unnecessary repetition. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Let's go. I didn't do my hair today. How's it going, Sean?
Neither did I.
Oh, damn. Ladies and gentlemen, the ball jokes. Hold on. I've got
I
something
didn't
for
want to jump in. You were sort of on a roll about ChatGPT and AI and the usage of it, and I wanted to wait until you hit a good, solid breaking point before I said hello. So if you wanted to wrap up and finish up, I will mute myself again and let you do your thing.
All right, I'll just finish with this flagging and then yes. So another cool thing about this with the canvas specifically, and I'll just show you guys actually real quick. To activate the canvas, super simple. You just have to go into a chat, go here more, and then click on canvas, and then write whatever you're going to write, and it's going to open this window. Or it actually puts it in the chat, but then you click edit, and it opens the window. So once you got canvas open, then you can ask it for stuff like that, where you're like, can you flag unnecessary repetition? This section needs to be set up tension, payoff, curiosity gap. So can you just identify where each of those sections starts so that I can better right? So all of this really cool. It's helped me a lot with accelerating the workflow. Obviously, if I can get a full YouTube script, like 10, 15 minutes, whatever, done in an hour and a half or 2 hours, and then I just need to put it aside, come back the next day, review it myself, maybe that takes an extra hour on top of that. So in 2.5 hours, I've got a full-length YouTube script, and if we're operating at a volume, like I said earlier, 7 scripts per week, this makes it possible for one person to do that versus having to hire 2, 3 script writers, giving them 2 or 3 days per script, sending those to the guru, and then maybe he's got feedback, right? Like the whole process just becomes a lot longer if we're not leveraging AI to accelerate it. So big places where I use AI, just to recap, if you're doing your research, AI is super helpful. My favorite one is Perplexity. If you're doing any kind of collaborative work with your team, you can build out a project, or by yourself as well, just per client, you can build out a project. And then coming into here, figuring out what I'm trying to do myself as the copywriter, what would my workflow have been? And then from there, doing that within the Chat GPT or Perplexity or Claude or whatever you want to do. Just be very precise, always give it as much context as you can, and you should get good enough output where then your job is to be more of an editor. And if you know how to edit, then you can also prompt the GPT. Of course, it's not always going to give you 100% accurate stuff. It's always going to look for something. So you can ignore most of its suggestions most of the time, but other times it'll catch things that you weren't able to catch yourself, and that's going to help you out a lot as well. So Sean, what are you up to?
Well, the first week of every year, I usually do the books for all my businesses, which is a pain in my ass. I tried to use AI for that particular purpose, and I have had nothing but trouble. I finally have given up, and I've decided to say, "Fuck it, AI is useless. I'll go back to the old methods." Um, So I'm also I'm writing memos for my two major operating businesses, DIY Wealth, Creating Wealth Publications, and then also Copy That, which has grown pretty significantly in the last 2 years, as most people watching this know.
Let's
Um,
go.
yeah, yeah. And then, so I'm writing a memo basically to the partners being like, okay, this is where we've been. This is where we are. This is where we seem to be going. Here's why we want to go this way and not this way. Here's some like major analytics and takeaways from like video performance, content performance, product performance, promo performance, et cetera, et cetera. Just sort of laying out the goals of everything, which unfortunately for me also includes working out basically a year's worth of like content production and marketing strategies, or at least the loose framework of each for two
Mhm.
businesses. Anyway, so I've been busy.
Nice. Let me show you something. We're going to go back to AI real quick. Have you played
Yeah.
around with the what Gemini, or I don't know if it's called Gemini, but within the YouTube studio, they've got like Google's AI integration now.
Yeah, yeah. I
Have you
have.
used that
I
for data analysis?
Oh my God. So actually, I want to show you the back end of
Yeah.
Copy That's data, and I want to show you
Yeah.
the inspire or whatever the fuck, the inspiration that this shit comes up with. Because this shit is fucking retarded. It is so bad.
All
Ah,
right, I'll show you how I use it after, and then maybe you'll change your opinion.
all right. Why don't you show me? Because like, I think it's trash. It is just goddamn trash.
So I only use it for data analysis. I don't use it to come up with stuff, right? Because
Yeah.
that's our job as copywriters.
Right.
But what I think is really cool that we can do with it is if we ask it just like very specific data questions, I can be like, out of all of the videos we published in 2025, which had the most views originating from YouTube search. So this has saved me a bunch of time in going through all of the individual and then finding different trends and just like different things that I wouldn't have picked up on, or I might have picked up on, but would have taken me a ton of time. So I was just thinking to myself, like, okay, cool. Maybe like I want to optimize something for new viewers, and I know that new viewers are coming from these factors, and so if we're weighing these factors this way, then how would that affect whatever? And then I can just get the specific metrics based on that. So that's how I've been using it. And
Why don't you just use the analytics advanced mode for the same effect?
I mean, I could, but then I
Yeah,
gotta go
do
and
do like
find
last 90 days.
you.
90 days you're gonna get a better window. And then break down content, and then
Yeah.
what traffic source. No, sorry, break down traffic source. There you you go. Then metrics. And usually allows you to sort of granularly spread out like, new, returning, etc. New viewers. There you go. It's right there. Yeah, yeah. And then that is the one that you want to, and then new viewers by traffic source, and then sort by not by watch time, but rather like, new viewers.
You can't.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
why is your channel not able to track new viewers? Maybe you have to click on one of these, like YouTube search, for example, like right down there, total YouTube search. There you go. Now, why is it not showing you your new viewers? That's weird. That is weird. Normally, you can granularly look and see. So that's going to be an issue. Now, in terms
Yeah.
of you want views, click on views instead. All right, there you go. Now you have your top 5 videos with views by search traffic.
I have my top 5 search terms, I think. But then
Research
how do I
search
map
terms.
that to videos?
Okay. That's how people are
But
finding
then
it.
is there a way for me to see which videos are getting the traffic from which terms?
You should be able to, but I don't know. I'm an old man. Can't figure this shit out.
And it took me 30 seconds to just ask the AI to do that for me. So
Charts are more attractive.
Did you not see the pretty little UI? The star spins when it's loading, Sean. That's so
It's
cool.
true. Too old. Too old. Oh well. No, I'm again, like one of the things that I immediately noticed when you had the original thing on is that this channel seems to be fatiguing.
Yeah. There are issues for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the reasons why I like looking at charts too, because if you look at broader trends like that, what you immediately start to see is like, okay, this is something that AI either won't interpret or can't interpret very well. Because once you start getting into that granular, that chart-based data in advanced mode, you can start being like, okay, have we seen a diminishment in terms of people clicking on the things that they're searching for? Are we seeing a diminishment of watch time, which tells you about the quality of the videos that you guys are putting out? There's all sorts of ways that you can sort of chop the data, but the first and most important thing is to notice the trend.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I
But this
would be
does seem
curious.
like a strong channel that has been falling off in the last few months. How does it look
Yeah.
in 2025 overall?
Let me throw that up. But the big thing that I brought to the attention of this is for Dr. Mike is the name of the client that I work with. So the thing that me and Dr. Mike have been talking about is that a lot of the business up to this point was built on vibes before they brought me. So so it was just like, hey, these are the videos we think we're going to do and that are going to, and they didn't do any kind of data analysis at all, right? So I've been working with them now for probably like 4-ish months, but only really very active since I left the agency last month. And going through all of the data, noticing like, okay, cool, these are the like types of titles, these are the types of thumbnails, these are the things that are getting the most search volume, the best click-through rate, and then being able to bring those things to their attention. And they're so vibes to the point where I was talking to Dr. Mike and I'm like, these are the top 5 videos with the highest click-through rate of the last, I forget if it was 60 or 90 or whatever, but let's just say 90. These are the top 5 videos with the best click-through rate in the last 90 days. What trend do you notice here? And it's just like the titles, right? And he's looking at them and he's like, they are all health related. And I'm like, yes, and so that's
Sorry,
the
it's
level.
rare that you get a John laugh out of Sean. Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that resonates. Anyway.
Yeah. So no, I was like, I pointed out, I'm like, well, 3 out of 5 of these are targeting women, we don't have many women-specific videos, so let's start to do things about like PCOS, menopause, like stuff like that, because we see that that's attracting a higher volume of new people coming in. And so then if we start to break that out as one of our niches within the YouTube channel, then hopefully we can revive some stuff there, get a little bit more diverse. Another thing is that most of the content of the last year has just been do this to kill visceral fat, and like every video is basically the same thing. So if that's happening, why would I ever return as a viewer? He's got 2 point whatever million subscribers, right? But why would those people come back if every single video is the same lesson? And that works to a certain point, obviously. But if it's 3 videos a week for 6, 7 months that are all about visceral fat, that's not helping us either. So
Right.
big push on diversity, and I'm trying to go
And
into the data
equity
as
and
much.
inclusion, of course, right?
Well, not under this administration. Oh, you want to hear something crazy? So
Yeah,
Lena
please do.
works with a nonprofit now, and the nonprofit
Okay.
is called Rewriting the Code. Really great mission statement. They link women who are studying, well, I should say girls, because like girls who are studying tech to companies that are hiring for girls, right? So it's very much like a DEI kind of nonprofit, and they do everything that's like Nvidia, Dell, like those major corporations. So they had a really good thing going for a while. And then a couple of weeks ago, they got a notice from the administration, like Trump's government, that said, due to you guys having a nonprofit status, you need to not be exclusive to women. So you need to open up to every person of every race, of every sex. Like it needs to be an all-inclusive project if you don't want to lose whatever that status is called in the US, the nonprofit, right? So they were all freaking out. It's like a woman-run company. Everybody who works, except for like me as a consultant, and then they get a tech guy. But everyone's a woman. They all are behind this mission. It's like a safe space for women who are in tech, because obviously there aren't a lot. And I just think it's so dumb. But there's
Yeah,
nothing. It's like a legal notice from the government to say, hey, open up to men. Like that's crazy to me.
it's pretty fucking crazy. I I have many things to say about the clownishness of the current administration and its unique choices.
I like the part where you guys are harming international relations.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Love it. It's been great. Question about the Dr. Mike channel.
Mhm.
How much leeway or insight do you have into their back end? And by that, I don't mean their data. I mean their actual assholes. No, like
Um,
how much insight do you
I
have?
haven't for it, but with my current permissions, I'm sure that within the organization, at least 3 or 4 people would be willing to comply. Plus, there's no HR department.
Lovely, lovely. You know, so I guess the when I look at data like this,
Yep.
and judging from the things you said, there's a few things that I would immediately want to understand. I actually, in over the summer, I got paid a lot of money to do some consulting for MarketWise, their YouTube channels, and they did not listen to me. But I took the same lessons to Japan and basically tripled their output, so it's
Nice.
fine. I'm not bitter about it at all. Um, when I look at this, I look and I see a channel that, based on what you said, seems to need to either not pivot, but like focus on growth again, because there's obviously things that they did that led to a growth trend that they decided not to continue pursuing. And I'm wondering
Yep.
what that is. I have many questions that I would want to ask about that.
I know a
Can you
lot of.
go into AI and be like, "Hey, what types of videos did we start releasing in April that led to the uptrend in views before July?" What would AI
Maybe.
say? Haley might actually do some work for International Living at some point in the near future.
Oh, dang, nice.
No,
What's she up to now?
legit, she has become a world-class thumbnail designer.
Nice.
She's done like some of the top performing thumbnails for like Drum Beats Online and stuff like that. She also gave like a presentation in Japan to like their internal like graphic design teams that like resulted in titles and thumbnails that were like, quadruple of the performance that were happening before.
Based.
So
Is she
literally,
just
like she's become an international like. All right.
Mrs. Worldwide?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Huh.
That feels useless.
Yeah, that all feels kind of. Give it a thumbs down. No, Gemini did terribly.
But if you just want to see this, so right now, we were averaging, I think it was last 90 when I looked at it in the middle of December, we were averaging 22,000 views per video that we were, or per new video that we released. And
Sure.
so the last two obviously doing a lot better, but we kind of sucked for a while. Just like boom, 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 right? All that. And at the beginning of the year, they did have some bangers with.
Jesus
Hold it.
Christ, they put out a lot of fucking content.
Yeah, we're going up to.
Couldn't be me, man. Copy that.
I know.
One video every 3 months.
So there we go. At the beginning, they had this one with 2.2 million, and then this one with 1 million. So they had some really big ones. But as they were going on, like I said, I think it was lack of diversity more, because you'll see it just gets to be, after a while, they saw that visceral fat. Let me just find the first one. Anyways, somewhere in here, they saw that visceral fat was a good one for them. Yeah, this one here. So they're like, oh man, almost 1 million views. Let's start to do visceral fat basically for every single video.
Why did they repeat
And
that and not the one that actually got 1 million views?
which one did? Smart glue work? Yeah, we talked about that the last time we spoke as well. And then this one, they're trying to or they've done a spin on this, I think 2 other times, and the second time it didn't perform very well. The third time it did again. So I don't know what the call is going to be there. But again, diversity, and then optimizing some stuff for SEO because traffic. And there was a chest. I forget exactly what it was called. But it's like 4 steps to killing chest fat or something like that.
If it's not revealing too much, can I see the actual like go into the details of like one of the videos that you're trying to SEO, for example?
This was actually, I just told him because I just noticed this a few days ago. But I can't. Actually, let me just open up Slack because it's in there. How to lose chest fat. That's it. So for this one, I think it's this one here. 76% or something of the views are coming from search.
Interesting.
Or 30%. But
Chest fat burning more. So that seems to be more of a content gap thing than what I'm talking about, but I'd love to see. Go to the details tab.
Details tab here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, scroll. Okay, you'll learn man boobs. Book a free coaching call. They will get better results if the book a free coaching call is the top thing that people see, because that's going to otherwise come below the fold. You know how it be.
Yeah, that's what it is now. This is I think it was published a year ago or 2 years ago.
Got it. And it looks like, okay, you are tracking with traffic. That's good. That's very good. Most people don't. Scroll down, please. Show more. Very bottom. Altered content definitely hit no.
Potentially, but also I don't want to touch anything. So.
All right, fair. Well, make sure that they start putting no for that if there is indeed no AI altered content. Scroll down, please. Places, okay. They are doing well on the tagging front. Scroll down. Why are they trying to optimize for lose belly fat in the chest fat video?
That's a great question.
I think that this would do even better if the targeting was chest fat and not belly fat. So definitely look at those tags for sure. And then category, instead of entertainment, you want educational. If you change it and then don't save, it'll be fine. You can also undo all changes before you exit.
Yeah, I'm sure I can.
So go to category and then switch from entertainment to educational. I want to show you something.
Okay.
Now, type how to or problem walkthrough. And then here's the cool thing. And this is an SEO fucking hack if you ever want to appear not just on YouTube search, but like general search overall. What you do is you put a timestamp and then the question related to what people typically search for.
And that is a hack.
And what have you ever? Yeah. Most people don't know about this feature. Now, here's the thing. Have you ever done like a YouTube search and like it's shown a video but there was like a specific like snippet in the middle of the video that showed the answer to your problem or whatever? This is how it's done.
Okay, yes, I know what you mean. Okay.
So if you want to start optimizing for SEO more and getting more search traffic to these videos, this is the change you got to make.
Well, if I'm writing all this down.
It is a big needle mover. You will be shocked, especially for your big and well-performing videos, shocked at how well this actually does for boosting that level of traffic.
And how long does it take for these changes to take effect?
Usually about 30 to 45 days.
Okay.
And that really is just like, Google is checking, okay, were you a motherfucker and did you just like tag everything that wasn't relevant to things? Or are these actually like, when people search for this stuff and we, test showing your video once out of 10,000 queries, do people actually click it and watch it? If yes, okay, we'll test it a few more times to make sure that people are actually clicking and watching.
Beautiful. Any other sauce?
Huh?
You got any other sauce?
No, the few things that I showed you are a pretty big one. Get your tags right. Like obviously for a chest fat video, make it chest fat, not belly fat. For category, switch it to education and then switch to type and then how to or problem walkthrough. And, like also adjust it for like a beginner or intermediate or whatever. There's levels of this that you can do. But the key thing there is to timestamp the specific moments that you are answering a specific question related to common queries.
So are you doing like, let's say 00 to 0100 question, and then underneath that, or are you like making it natural and then putting the timestamps within the language?
So usually what you can do is you can just do the beginning timestamp and then put like, 0:32, why chest fat happens or whatever the fuck.
Number one search term for chest.
My wife is calling me. Hold on one moment. I'm going to put it into the phone. Hey, Kaylee, you are on stream right now. What's up? I am. I have not. What are you thinking? That sounds great. Please get me some chicken with the bag.
All right.
I love you too, baby.
All right, bye, Kaylee.
Bye. That was Jonathan. It was Jonathan.
Oh,
I can't, like, it mutes her after a second, so if she said anything, I couldn't hear
Yeah. She was saying, Jonathan, 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 Jonathan.
her. At this point, that's a really deep cut.
That's a deep cut. Deep cut. The old more. All right, baby, I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Anyway, so yeah, for SEO, those are my suggestions. One thing that I found that does not work great for SEO is hashtagging titles, hashtagging descriptions. I think that those days are done. I think that right now doing so is more or less a waste of time, especially now that like Google's search algorithms are mostly focusing on like people's behaviors and actual transcripts of the videos themselves. So
Mhm.
anyway, what other YouTube marketing questions, please? I don't get to talk about this stuff enough.
Chat, blow it up.
What else
Oh,
are you working
well,
on? How have you been feeling since leaving the agency?
my mental health has recovered. I feel good. You know how my last day, I don't remember if it was November 28th or November 20th. That would be like, I guess, 30-ish days ago. So it's been 30-ish days since I've had any kind of
Any what? Sorry, you cut out there for a second.
any kind of suicidal ideation.
Oh boy.
I was just,
Good.
dude, I was
Yes.
so burnt out. But the big thing that I like thinking back on and doing a lot of reflection. The big thing was that I was so unhappy, not because I was working so much, but because I was working and trying to do business stuff, right? Like it's just like maximize the profits and take care of all the client relationships and all that. And that isn't the stuff that I actually enjoy, right? I got to do zero marketing in the position that I was in. So working 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever hours per day, not happy at all. Thankfully, I got someone who could replace me, so I felt good removing myself. And since I've removed myself now, I get to focus on Dr. I've got him as a B2C client, I've got a B2C client, and then I'm the nonprofit that Lena works with as well. So I've just got those three. This is my main project. December was the first time we were ROAS positive. So the big issue, we launched ads in September. So we launched ads, tried to fix basically everything that I could on the marketing side and take as much responsibility as I could. Eventually, there was nothing else to say other than it's a sales point. So then Dr. Mike invested in getting our salespeople trained up a little. And in December, we were at 2.01 X ROAS, I think, on Meta. So super happy with that. Going to try to bump it up and stay consistent. And if we can work through January and stay ROAS positive, then we're going to start to scale. I'll start to hire my team, bring more people on. I'm focused right now mostly on paid, and they're taking care of all the organic stuff because they've been doing it by themselves forever. So working on those things, and then eventually Dr. Mike's plan is to have me move up and just be over everything and kind of coordinate that. But for right now, there's so much to be done and not enough budget coming in from paid to justify hiring more people. So I'm super happy because I get to do marketing. I get to like develop the funnels, whatever. He trusts me. I don't need to run anything. So I'm just doing whatever I want. Life's so good.
That's amazing. You
Thank
know, you and I have talked about this many times over the years. But especially if you're in charge of funnels and you get to be in charge of marketing strategy, you get to have like oversight and sort of decision making power over like where you guys go. One of the things, if you truly want to scale, that you're going to want to start thinking about is how can you scale with a negative ROAS? ROAS is the more clients that I've worked with and the more marketers that I've spoken to and the more people that I've mentored, the more I realize that positive ROAS is a fucking trap that keeps people stalled. The more I realize that it's ultimately like like it's one of those things that business owners love looking at, but it's because they're ignorant of how their business actually makes money and scales. And so I think a lot of agencies, and you know this from working at so many, and being the head of at the vanguard of so many, like most of agency work and most freelance work is like doing the things that the client wants to do, not the thing that's best for the business. um and I really had a sort of like come to Jesus moment over the last, I want to say, 6 months, where I realized like the biggest fucking blocker that is crushing so many e-com businesses and other businesses that I've worked with is the fact that they are obsessed with that day one ROAS. And
Mhm.
I think that, that initial purchase ROAS, and I just, God, it frustrates me to no end, because like the moment you sort of realize like what you should be doing instead, the more it sort of like opens your eyes to like, oh fuck, no wonder I've hit this sort of plateau. But you're about to show me
Yeah.
something, so tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, so just I agree with you 100%. So if anybody's taking notes, what Sean is talking about, totally true. Context for Dr. Mike's business and why we can't think about.
Sorry,
And so it's just
you cut out again. Sorry.
context for Dr. Mike's business is we just have the one funnel running. So it's just a direct book a call funnel, and we only have the one offer, and we don't have any system of the business. So if we don't sell the offer, then we make. So that kind of handicaps us, but on a call funnel, like it's not hard to get to a 2x on the front. And as we then become positive, then I can hire people, then I can remove myself from just the maintenance, and then I can start to build out the ecosystem a little bit more. Let me get your take on this. I think this is genius. And it was inspired by me thinking, what would Sean do in this? So
Bullshit. That's bullshit.
no,
You
for
know
real.
it.
For real. Because one big thing that I realized with the agency, we worked with a lot of clients who were doing $1 million plus per year, or sorry, per month on their info offers. And those people, I watched like so many of them, they work super well. 3-4 years later, they crash, right? And the thing that I realized from seeing this over and over again, I'm like,
You
and
cut
they
out
have
for me
no
again.
idea.
Sorry, chat is it. Yeah, so other
Yes.
people in
Okay.
chat. It's not just me. Your voice is cutting off. So like every time you're
Yes.
about to reveal some fucking sauce, like your voice chat just cuts out. So whatever
Let me try
echo
quoting.
or noise cancellation you have going on with your microphone, legit, it's deciding that your voice in particular needs to cut out at the most worst moments.
Okay, I tried to switch the input. If it cuts out again, let me know and I'll try to switch it again to something else. But yes, the Trump. Well, I'm in Texas right now, so it could be the Trump administration. But what I realized with all of these guys who are doing $1 million plus per month on their offers is that they just got really, really, really lucky with an offer that works well, and they have no idea how to run a business, right? So they're like, "Oh, just crank as much ad spend into my Section 8 info product offer with the software and keep going," and then eventually it starts to die, and they're like, "I don't know what to do," right? Because they have no back end, they've got nothing else going. So thinking about that, and then just thinking about how hard it is to scale something once you get to like 1 million, trying to push it to 5 million, trying to push it to like 10 million, whatever. That so difficult, so complex. So for Dr. Mike's offer, they're doing right now about 200,000 per month on a combination of new clients plus resigns, just from their organic, right? So their organic's always been kind of working well. They tried paid a few times before me, it wasn't working. Now obviously it's working a little bit better. And Dr. Mike's brand is called Sculpt by Science. He's the face of everything. When the female content started to perform well, then an idea was, what if we start to do more female content, right? And I thought, what if we start to build multiple gurus underneath the Sculpt by Science brand, right? So we can have like the face of the female over 40. She has her own YouTube channel, she has her own ads, she has her own funnels, whatever. She has her own offers. And then we have the Dr. Mike like health stuff. And then we have the Dr. Mike mindset stuff, which is another channel we're working on. And then maybe we have 2 or 3 other smaller brands under Sculpt by Science, kind of like what you guys do with Agora, where you've got all the little imprints who are just like individual companies, but then you have access to everybody's data. And so if then I'm thinking building out these smaller brands, it's a lot easier to scale, like let's say to 10 million per month if I have 10 smaller brands versus trying to scale one big brand to 10 million per month. So complexity in terms of scaling, I think, becomes a lot easier. And then I've got these little brands where all the copywriters, the marketers, whatever, they're just focused on the one guru with the one voice with the one or two audiences. And so they can be a lot more effective as well because they can spend their time getting to know these people better and producing the offers that are going to appeal to them more and like building out the ecosystem specific to that. And then all of it funnels up into the top tier coaching offer. What are your thoughts?
I have a few.
Yeah.
No particular organization. One, very smart, but risky, especially if you don't do it right. Why? Why is it risky? One, the moment you start looking at the imprint model or the decentralization model for any sort of business, whether it's Agora or Hormel, you do run into a problem, which is to say that the individual imprints will do whatever they can do to compete with their fellow people in the conglomerate. And that includes one of the major problems with AI right now, which is it will always race to the bottom in terms of like, how can we, make the most money, generate the most profit for our little division. And that's especially true if the incentives are set up in a way that they will succeed, but also like be motivated to do whatever it takes to actually grow their little pocket of the business. So there's a balance there. You need to be able to have somebody who's in charge, not the guru, but somebody who's in charge, like a publisher of that particular subdivision of the business. And those people and the guru of that subdivision need to be compensated based on the merit of the division, not just straight comp.
So when you
The
say
other
the merit
advantage
of that,
sorry,
what
what's up?
when you say the merit of that division, what are the metrics that define that?
So, like for example, at Agora, and this is also true of Hormel and a number of other what are called like central corporate but decentralized subsidiary companies. What you'll often see is that the books of each division are treated differently. It's structured similar to real estate in that it's not one business that owns all the business. It's one business that owns an LLC that has its own separate books, that has its own retained earnings, that has its own profits, that has its own KPIs, that has its own everything. And that way you can not only kick some equity to the guru. Pro tip: do shadow equity instead. Don't do actual equity because that becomes a taxation and legal nightmare. Better to just be like, we will cut you in to 10% of the net profits of this particular organization, and that will pay out, that will sum up and pay out every single quarter, yada yada yada. And then you want to make sure that like every single year that all but I'd say around 30% of retained earnings get kicked up to the mothership, central services. The other thing that you want to do too is you want to make sure that that central, whatever owns the Dr. Mike fitness brand, whatever owns the Dr. Mike mental health brand, whatever owns, the woman over 40 fitness brand, whatever. You want to centralize some services, but not all of them. What central services do you want to centralize? Legal, for sure. Legal compliance. Um, Accounting, for sure. Human resources, for sure. You're
Janitorial
basically,
services?
huh?
Janitorial services? Or is that in each of
Yeah,
the
janitorial
imprints?
services. And eventually, if you guys get a building management, maintenance. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure that like the individual subsidiaries pay the central business for the use of those services, like almost like a monthly fee or a percentage of something. And the reason why you want to do that is because, if these separate entities are using these services, then even though it is owned by the mothership, they still got to pay for the use of the services. That way, the mothership generates profits, based upon the basically providing these imprints with its, these different back of the house services. The other reason why you want to do that is because at a certain level of scale, you're going to be able to go up to other YouTubers, other businesses, and round them up, buy them. And that's going to be a lot easier to do at a certain point than just trying to scale these individual franchises from scratch. And so you want to be able to be like, hey, why are you spending all this money on like accounting and legal and stuff like that when you can pay like this small fee and like, we'll own 100% of your business, but you get paid based on like not only a salary, but also the merit, the profits that you guys actually generate. That's what they basically did with like Altucher. Altucher had his own, InfoPub business. And when it was purchased by Agora Financial, Altucher owns 0% of his business, but he's incentivized on the profit of his business. And so he's always motivated to be James Altucher. So the other thing too is that, and this is the big mamma jamma, the big reason why you want to do it is because once you sort of decentralize these affiliates, these imprints, then all of a sudden you get an interesting opportunity, which is you now can run internal affiliate promotions, not only front end promotions to the other imprints, but also back end promotions to the other imprints. You can, like for the Dr. Mike stuff, you can do a whole hot list build, seminar, webinar, whatever, that targets paid people and all the different affiliates. Now, why is that good? If you have all these different front end offers, all these different gurus, all these different personalities, bringing on this sort of like wide swath of people, well, chances are that in one of those various franchises, you might release a back end or a bundle offer that would appeal to a broad swath of the people that you have brought on as paid customers. And obviously that is going to be, that's the secret of Agora, really. It's like not just back ends, but having the businesses effectively swap names and sell names to each other. So, like for example, if Agora Financial pays $300 to acquire one front end customer and then sells them a $2,000 back end, that customer is going to be worth a lot. Now, what happens is affiliate over here, Oxford Club, and Gundry does this shit too, and all the major info pubs do this. This is the secret sauce. Say Oxford Club has a back end in a webinar launch that they want to do that's proven, it's vetted, it's clearly successful. You can now have Oxford Club basically go to Agora Financial, still technically part of the same company, but basically because they're acting as different companies, now all of a sudden Oxford Club goes and says, "Hey, I want to, build a hot list of your, paid list. Would you mind sending these emails to your paid list that helps us build the hot list for this backend launch that we're doing?" Now Agora Financial can charge Oxford Club $500, $1,000 per paid name that they bring onto their list, which further boosts Agora Financial's numbers. But then also, these are proven buyers. And if they're over here and they buy Oxford Club just made a bunch of fucking money from people that have proven to want the kind of information that that everybody's selling. All this it's a high tide raises all boats sorts of situation where because these affiliates are paying each other, but then they're individually incentivized with their own profit motives, it ultimately creates this upswell of results that of course kick back up to the mothership. Complicated shit, I know, but like you have the right idea, but you want to make sure that as you approach the launch of this, it's going to take you 3 to 5 years to make it work appropriately. You want to make sure that the incentives are lined up. You want to make sure that like the individual imprints have their own marketing and copy teams and editorial teams, their own content production teams and stuff like that. One of the things that you can centralize is actually video production services. That's another thing that you can charge your imprints for. Like, for example, Agora forces people to pay for a service called 16 West as opposed to 14 West, which is their administrative services. But 16 West is all video production. It is so expensive relative to what you get. But if you've ever seen an Agora promotion, chances are it was either recorded by an in-house team or 16 West. So
Nice. A lot to think
the
about.
thing, though,
So-
that I think is going to unlock this business and allow that's a way down the line thing. The thing that's going to allow that, though, is loss leaders. And Alec in the chat asked, why do you want negative ROAS? It's because you make the most money if you can outspend your competitors. If you can bring on a customer comfortably at a higher CPA than anybody else in your fucking industry, and more than make up for it on the back end, 6 months or a year down the line, the way to do that, of course, is to have these affiliates. Like, so their lifetime values within the ecosystem continually goes up. So you can constantly bombard them with offers from not only internally with the imprints, but also externally with these different affiliates in the same ecosystem. The more backends that you have to offer to your paid customers, the more you can justify spending on that front end. And that is why you want a negative ROAS, not a positive ROAS, if you want to scale a business. That's the answer. Anyway, that was my $10,000 seminar. I hope you guys have all paid up, or at the very least, you're on the payment plan. So.
Can I do $100 a month for the next 18 years?
Yeah, if you just do the things that I suggested and do things very incrementally, you're going to do really, really well. But the first step of that, before any of the business structure stuff, it's gonna be getting a good working loss leader or good working front end for this business, because the one thing that is so difficult to scale is what you're doing, that coaching, that done with you shit. It is a guarantee that your business is going to go like whoop and then go like whoop.
Yeah. One of our competitors for Dr. Mike, I used to have them as a client with the agency. They were spending about $2 million a month on paid across Meta and Google, and it's ridiculous. Like, the total addressable market for, hey, you want to not be a fat loser anymore, is so big that they just scaled to 2 million per month with the exact same ad. All of their ads are the exact same thing, right? It's like, hey, are you a fat loser? Before your wife fucks the neighbor, come get health coaching, right? So so I've got confidence in this not being a huge bottleneck for a while, but I'm totally on the same page as you that we do need to create a better ecosystem. We need more stuff, and then just the complexity of having a massive sales team, a massive fulfillment team. Like, I don't want that to, for sure at some point it's going to break, right? So I don't want that to be the reason everything falls apart.
Wise, very wise. But also, Jonathan, and this is stepping back from yes, I just gave everybody a masterclass in business structure and the interplay between business structure and marketing. All that is fine and good. For your own mental health, and this is just because I love you and I've known you for very many years at this point, you have to not stress yourself over things that you cannot control and walls that you cannot move. I know it's going to be hard. I know it's impossible for you, but I can already tell from just the way you talk about Dr. Mike that every single step of this process is going to be an uphill battle. And the less control you currently have, and obviously the less equity that you have in the business, actual equity, not shadow equity, the less control you're going to have and the less ability you're going to have to execute these grand plans that you have, which of course is going to lead to this ongoing cycle, sometimes spiral, of wanting to accomplish something, getting frustrated, wanting to accomplish something, getting frustrated, swelling, brushing up against the membrane of what you can control, and then deflating, which is something that is not just common of you, it's common of most people in your position. So,
yeah, we'll see how that plays out. I agree with you again. Thankfully, Dr. Mike, he trusts me a lot and he respects me a lot. So everything that we've done up to this point, he just gives me a blank slate and he's like, do it. And I've also got a really good compensation structure set up. So I'm not super worried. I think the thing that I worry about more than anything else that I could see affecting my mental health is once the team starts to grow, I need to find that line where I'm like, okay, this person's good enough for me to trust them to not have to review every single thing that they do. And I can just give them this and they can run with it, and it's not going to be the way that I do it, and that's okay. And I just need to look at the numbers, and if the numbers look good, then fantastic. Stop being like such an artist, I guess, like a controlling artist about everything.
Yeah. No, listen, one of the reasons why I don't hire a lot of people is because I'm extremely demanding in terms of like the level and quality of editorial, but that's just because like, I'm writing for Mark Ford. So like, if it can't cross my fucking barrier, like guess who's going to get all this shit? It's going to be me from Mark, because his standards are way the fuck up here. And so, one of the things that I've had to really contend with is an inability to scale staff and teams, not only for cash flow constraint reasons, but also for very simple, like most people can't fucking hang. I've fired, how many people? Like close to 30 people over the last 5 years who I've brought on, paid a lot, and ultimately were able to do precisely 0 things that we were able to publish. All because of those standards. On the flip side of that, what you're saying, especially as you move towards that more decentralized model, you want to have whoever is in the decision-making like seat, you want to have similar values as you and Dr. Mike when it comes to quality control, especially of copy and fulfillment. Because if one of the affiliates is saying dumb fucking shit in their copy, it's going to end up getting the whole business and all the affiliates shut down from Meta, Facebook, Google, etc. That happened at Agora. Like we had Meta ads and stuff like that was just scaling like crazy, and then a few small changes and a few like complaints to a couple of district attorneys here and there, and all of a sudden Meta is not going to accept Agora's money anymore, and we've had to come up with so many black hat strategies to get around ongoing sequence of bans from Meta advertising. And that's because of one set of ads from one affiliate that affected a multi-billion-dollar business. So you don't want that to happen. You want to make sure that whoever is in the decision seats are different enough from you that they can lead a different enough imprint to justify it existing separately, but also somebody that you trust to where you, even if you don't always agree, you can at the very least be like, okay, you're good. So.
One of the big challenges that I had with the copywriters at the agency, the thing that I would come back to them the most was like, this is not true. This is a false claim. Like, stop lying in your copy, right? Like, just over and over and over again. So that is something that I'm very aware of, that I absolutely hate, and I'm trying to outline for myself just mentally. When I do hire people, what am I going to tell them? Like, these are the standards of the stuff that you're expected to do, and then also this is the stuff that you'll immediately be fired for, right? And compliance is one of those things for me, for sure.
Same thing in Japan. And like they are like one thing that I've had to contend with, not only like surviving all of the Agora lawsuits unfucking scathed because I'm a fucking pimp, but but also like in Japan, not only is my copy and marketing material scrutinized for compliance, but my editorial is as well. That includes YouTube videos. So any claim in a YouTube video, any claim in a report I write, any claim in a newsletter I write, I have to source it. I have to back it up. It's crazy the level of compliance that we have to contend with there. So that has made me very, very good at navigating those landmines. And there are many in this day and age. Even under Trump, which is bizarre to me.
We should just get rid of the FTC. I actually just got a check in the mail from the FTC like 2 or 3 days ago. It was a 14-something dollar check because I guess they went after Amazon and there was something wrong with the Amazon Prime policies. But my Amazon.com account, the one that I use in the US, is not under my real name, so the check is made out to a person that doesn't exist. So I don't think I'll ever be able to claim those $14. Rex asked, though, I can imagine the marketing for health is easier, but the sales is harder. Before I share my take on that, have you ever worked on a big health offer?
I've not only that, I've worked with some of the best living health marketers in the world.
Whomst? Who would you put on that list?
Paul Amos, Nate Rifkin, uh, Amber Jones, Kim Sweeney, all the folks that were at INH. What was her name? Her name was Angela something or other. And then Jen Thompson as well. These are people that uh, before the big brain drain at Agora, like they were in charge of they were commanding upwards of like $300 to $400 million per year in revenue each. Paul Amos, I'm sure you've read plenty of Agora health promos. Most of them, 80% of the ones that found scale, it was all Paul Amos or Nate Rifkin.
Nice.
And so
So-
there's that. Yeah.
So
And
Rex's
then
question.
also, I've done a lot of consulting work over at Dr. Sears. I've helped him hire a bunch of copywriters. And then I have a few friends that worked over at Gundry, but nothing to call home about. And Golden Hippo.
Okay. So Rex asked, he said, I can imagine the marketing for health is easier, but the sales is harder. I have an opinion on this. What do you think about, is the marketing for health easier?
Define marketing in this context.
We'll just say like the copy, like the conversion aspect of it, like writing an ad or running the ads or whatever.
The conversion aspect I actually think is easier, like the copy component of that, because let's be real for a moment. Like people wake up in the morning being like, "Oh man, my knees hurt. Guess I need more fish oil." And so there's a whole fucking cottage industry of people buying fish oil, taking it for 3 days, forgetting the shit spoils, and then they're just like, "Oh, I feel guilty about not taking care of my health." And my wife is like, you stop complaining about your knees, take your fucking fish oil." So people want this shit.
Mhm.
So like whenever there's a situation where people want a thing and you're not like trying to buck a trend or be contrarian, it's actually relatively easy to like sell that, and also to stand up new businesses that effectively sell the same shit but under different branding.
I think that the hard part is when you consider the sophistication of the market, because I agree that like problems exist for sure. Total addressable market, massive. But I think that it takes a certain type of person to understand how to present the like the offer or the mechanism or whatever in a way that's compelling enough. Because most people, I think, would just go in and be like, sore knees, buy fish oil. When if you don't have any brand recognition, then you can't really do that, right? Like if I'm buying from, let's say I go to Amazon and there's a company that has 10,000 reviews, I can just buy the one that says fish oil, good for the knees, and I don't care. But if I'm doing direct response, then I can't just say like fish oil brand, buy now.
And basically what I meant, that there is the mainstream supplement and health industry, and then there is the direct response supplement, and that's when you have to be contrarian about some things. Like a really famous example was like when fish oil became popular. Well, how can you charge more for a supplement that does the same things, has the same effectively ingredients, but you can market as better to strip away some of that market share of fish oil? Krill oil. Well, how do you sell krill oil? Hey, everybody in chat, tell me, are you eager? Did you wake up this morning being like, man, I can't wait to take krill oil today? No. And so that's when direct response marketing tactics become much more important, but also it's much more difficult to reach people. So
I think another thing, just thinking about it, with health, what's really cool, in my opinion, is that if you're selling like biz op or I guess not your type of financial, but anything that's like financial gain, most of the time, most of the people you're selling to are the broke people who need to make more money, right? But with health, you can just speak to a 45 plus affluent, like him and his wife together make 250, $1,000 a year, right? So you do have more room to sell higher priced stuff if you can come up with a good way to sell it.
Yeah, and that's the fun in the game of marketing. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I would say that it's easier than financial, like InfoPub
Mhm.
Financial, and it's easier than a lot of like, how should I say, your weirder kinds of services and products that you might see getting sold in a direct response context. Like, for
Like
example,
seawall
for
repair.
like, well, no, seawall repair is really easy to sell. Yeah,
Because there's one company that
my
does.
seawall is broken. What do I do? PPC ad. We will fix your seawall within the next 3 hours. Call us before it leaks more. That's all you need to write, and then just target those ads. Write a page that's like super direct, and you're done. Make yourself seem credible. The offer is just like, we will fix the thing, and we'll do it quickly, and we won't break the bank. Boom. That's the only copy you need to write. But for like health, man, people wake up hurting. Mentally, physically. They have problems they want to solve. And not only that, they have these notions planted in them by, the media and pop culture and marketers like us that um, the things that they do in their normal life is hurting and harming them. Drinking tap water, for example. Tap water in America is cleaner than a lot of the bottled water in America. But most people don't believe that. So, oh well.
If that were true, then what is his title? Is he the Minister of Health or something like that? Like whatever RFK Jr. is doing now? Why is he telling me that tap water causes autism? Sean. I'm already autistic, so I'm safe.
Yeah,
There was
it's
another question. What if ROAS counts in the LTV? What will make it better to track long-term ROAS? Do you want to just explain like the different windows that you can look at, how those apply, and how you think about that?
Yeah, so I mean, the answer to Alex's question ultimately at the end of the day is like long-term ROAS is just profit margin. The long-term ROAS is your business making more money than it's spending. That's it. You don't need long-term ROAS, though. I mean, if we're going to be marketers, like, hey, I'm a growth specialist, like who specializes in long-term ROAS. Long-term ROAS? I've never seen that before. And really, you're just talking about fucking basic ass profit margin.
I
Oh
think
God. Our
one helpful
fucking
thing to
industry, man.
consider. I love everything about marketing and how our guys always tell the truth about everything. But I think one thing to consider where looking at ROAS like that, as opposed to like LTV, right? But looking at a longer time frame for ROAS would be any kind of subscription business, because then you can gauge, okay, cool, my person's going to stay on average for like 3 months. And so if I can be profitable after 3 months, then I can do the math more easily like that. Versus, like Sean was saying, it's not a good idea to just look at front end. Because if I'm selling a $19 per month app, it's going to take, let's say my CPA is $60, right? It would take me 3 months before I see just break even. Then I need to get to month 4 to be profitable. If I'm doing all of my calculations based on the -40 in the first 30 days, then I can't really scale my business and I can't do anything. And then I'm like, oh, drop this project. But what if most people end up staying for 6 months, right? If they do, then I'm profitable. If they don't, then can I introduce a different variation of the offer where somewhere in my funnel, I'm like, why don't you upgrade to lifetime for just $79.99? And then all of a sudden, I know this person's going to be profitable if they take that, right? So there are different strategies and different things to think about if you understand those windows. But again, like Sean's saying, you should have an understanding of the entire business. You should be looking at just profitability overall. If someone comes in, what are the offers they can buy? How often are they buying these offers? What's their lifetime value, right? If I'm cross-selling my people into my other businesses, there's a lot of stuff to consider there. But then it just gets super complicated. And most of the businesses that you're going to work with aren't thinking like this because they're just like, run the webinar to $1 million a month. And that's what they want to do.
That is perfectly accurate. It's tough, man. It's tough negotiating not only clients but also like the egos involved, the ignorance involved, it's hard to reach a level in marketing and copy and know exactly what should be done, and then have the people that need what you're selling be like, I don't want to do that. That sounds wrong and weird to me. Like, for example, like, copy that. We just had an agency client for us, and we, year over year doubled their email revenue. Like, within 2 months, doubled their email revenue. And even when you accounted for changes in their list size, we increased their revenue by 65%. And we were charging them a fucking fraction of the actual net profit that we were bringing them. And they decided not to continue with us. Not just because, like, they were like, profit. We'll just go back to the way we were doing it. And the reason for that is because, like, they're thinking now about, like, we don't want to be in the direct to consumer business forever. Why would we pay an agency for this thing when I can get worse results for the thing that I was always doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just frustrating.
That's
It is supremely frustrating. Here, I'll give you one from Kaylee.
yep.
So she has become, in her own right, after years of being exposed to you and a little bit to May, she's become a fucking fantastic marketer in her own right. She had a client. It was Portuguese golden visas, agencies that helped rich assholes get golden visas to move to Portugal. Now, what is entailed in this? A golden visa, you have to invest a certain amount for a certain amount of time within certain government approved funds that typically like do infrastructure investment or local investment or stocks or things like that. So companies that manage those funds want to hire freelancers and agencies to bring qualified leads that can actually become new clients in those funds. So that's the business model. So she worked for one of these agencies that wanted to completely start up. The two people that started this up, completely ignorant, never done a lead gen business before, never. So Kaylee comes in and she's like trying to explain basic stuff to them, and they're like, okay, like not understanding what their business is. She got hired to do social media posts and she was knocking it out of the park, but she realized that, like, wow, like nobody's calling them. Like, I'm collecting a check, great, but like nobody's calling this agency that I work for. And so she took it upon herself to be like, listen, I want to pause on social media to like actually fix the landing page. And so she took 2 months off. During those 2 months, she also solved all of their DKIM and like DSIP and all that fucking shit, those issues, because they didn't set themselves up right. She literally wrote, revised, designed, and then built out a landing page, book a call funnel, and the Google ad campaigns that drove cold traffic to that landing page. They qualified leads. Within a week, her performance was doing 5x better than the original copy, which was written by AI. The problem was that this business was funded by the investment fund, and the investment fund manager looked at where the money was going and he was like, why haven't we posted on social media for the last 2 months? And then fired Kaylee. Even though now they've gotten over 1,000 qualified leads compared to where they were before, which was getting 0 qualified leads from social media. And so, what can you do? What can you do? Because they fired her, like the Google ad account that she set up was still running, and so she was getting these notifications like, oh, we got a new qualified lead. And guess what? The two people at this agency that didn't know what the fuck they were doing, they followed up with none of those leads. Each lead, by the way, potential $25,000 commission. She generated over 1,000 qualified leads.
Now let's say
I'll
industry
let you
close rate.
guys do the math.
Industry
So
close rate
that
around
is
25%, yeah? That's how
yeah.
much money?
Eventually, like when she looked at the numbers, her landing page did 20x. I checked in with her on the numbers, but it's 20x the performance of the original landing page. And the person with the money did not care. Person with the money wanted fancy, beautiful looking social media posts about Portugal. Client gets what client wants. Oh well.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So for everyone listening, that means you've got two options. Option number one, find a Mark Ford who understands things, and then just basically live with him for your entire life inside of his businesses. Or option number two, do your own thing. Launch your own offer, whether it's going to be affiliate promos or whatever, like doesn't matter. Those are the only two ways that you're ever going to be happy as a marketer.
Or they can marry me, according to Alec.
I thought you were already married, but if that's an option.
You know, it's poly. You
I
know,
wish you
monogamy
still
is unnatural.
I agree. I just finished reading the Bible and I decided that's how I want to.
Nice. Like how what did Lot do with his two daughters?
That's a great question. Let me go back and reference the Bible that I definitely read for sure. So, didn't he? Hold on. It's coming to me. He one of them studied medicine at Brown, right?
No.
Oh.
Let's just say they got to know each other.
Does anybody have any questions for Sean before we end office hours? Because we're coming up on time.
Sorry for coming in and stepping on stuff. I've just been you know,
You want
again,
to leave?
I'm just doing year-end shit, mostly admin shit.
Oh, good. Oh, do you want to announce to everybody what we've been talking about in our DMs?
Oh yeah, on Sunday, January 11th. Do you want to reduce the streaming the screen
Oh,
share thing? I guess so. I guess we'll do the floor thing anyway. Fucking Discord, shut up, go away. Anyway, hi, yes, hello, everybody, hello. So on January 11th, at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Time, we are collectively going to put together a big, I guess, Q&A panel. Q&A?
yeah, I was thinking of framing it
General
as
anything that you guys want to know about copywriting, marketing, and how to get your first or your next client, kind of dealio. We are, because we don't learn from our mistakes, we're going to advertise it on Reddit/our copywriting because we're idiots and fools. But hopefully there are some cool people in there from the CC, namely you. And what are we going to do? We are going to, just sort of hang out for a couple hours, answer any questions that people have, yada yada. So
yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be me, Sean McIntyre, Alex Myatt, Rod, Alvar, and Aaron. So I don't know, is that 6 people, 7 people? That number of people. We're going to be talking about the stuff that we learned in 2025, what you should be doing as we move into 2026. We'll cover all of the topics from creative to strategy to copywriting to more general marketing stuff. We can look at the back end details of Copy That's Business so we can see exactly how much money Sean's losing every month.
it's a lot.
Some CCC. But no, it's
I
going
mean,
to
just for
be
context, people, like because we launched, it was just a sort of recruitment funnel for me for a long time, and just like fun, shits and giggles, kind of fun. But I was paying for everything out of pocket for 3 years, and then we started generating some revenue from like Patreon and Squarespace, making masterclasses and stuff like that. But we really did not become a profitable business independent of me until 2024. like late 2024, like November of 2024. We never turned a profit. And it was all just because, like, making a 22-hour mega course costs some fucking money, especially if you like want to open it up with how many the oneer where you were chucking money at me. God, I still remember all the takes and practice and stuff that we had to do for that. Just so you know, if you watch the opening of the mega course and you see the wads of $10,000 like hitting me on the chest, I literally had to coach John how to throw because he didn't have a father figure in his life. So
Yes,
I had
that's
to teach him how
exactly.
to throw something. And then as we're doing this oneer that we're fucking rehearsing for, the the fucking fake $10,000 bundles that we had kept bursting and breaking and falling into the pool. So we were down to like our last 2 bundles of money.
And on top of that, for additional context, we were doing it right as the hurricane was pulling in. So we had a very small time window as the clouds came in, as the rain starts coming down, as the wind starts pushing through. So it was super stressful. Like Sean said, I never had a dad, so that was a good moment for me. But the most expensive part of that scene was the money that I was throwing at Sean because he went to the bank beforehand and he's like, well, production budget is $80,000 and it'll cost about $4,000 for the cameras. So,
I
but no, a lot of
that was a joke, by the way. I didn't actually bring out real cash. It was fake cash.
yeah.
The real thing was
You
like
guys have
the
seen
equipment.
you guys have seen the Lamborghini and the models. You know that Sean rolls that way.
Yes, that is actually true. I did spend a lot of money on that. Yeah, that video is still not out yet. So it's taken 2 years to have a green light to do a launch with Mark. It's taken 2 years of work to get him to approve copy, approve messaging, approve the offer and things like that. It really took a lot of work to do that. I'm looking at this. Sonia, I didn't flinch paying Nada for the companion guide. Sorry. Well, I hope a client rips you off one day. Fuck you.
Damn. What is the context there?
Oh, it's in chat.
But what is the companion guide?
Oh,
Is it
so
coming?
in the mega course, we have basically a 30-day like email autoresponder for people who sign up, and it's just like videos to like supplement information that's in the 22-hour course. It's lessons, value emails, reports, things of that nature that basically supplement the lessons inside the mega course, etc. We have a special bundle offer that kicks in, I want to say like 5 or 6 days in there. But when people sign up, they get taken to an upsell page, and the angle is all around like, okay, well, a couple things. One, what is the biggest problem that people have when it comes to like, the biggest obstacle that people have when it comes to like long courses or taking notes from YouTube? It's the language, the actual like taking notes and things like that. And so what I did was we turned the transcript into a PDF, a well-designed PDF, and basically did it as a pay what you want kind of offer. So people could pay whatever they want for it, including $0. So Sonia, like again, we designed that particular funnel to help people. So I'm not actually mad that you didn't pay me for a thing. It's fine.
I would have paid you $1
No,
million,
no.
Sean.
And
Sean
no,
was
the joke about Sean going bankrupt, no, it's Alex going bankrupt and being impoverished in the street, and that's just because he's a poor little British orphan boy.
You know what I
You
think one of the biggest
you guys need to work on the humor. Jeez Louise. Like, if you honestly, like, legitimately thought we were being serious in that copy, man, trouble
it's just
ahead.
cultural. It's cultural.
It might be cultural.
People, they hear a sad story about Alex Myatt, they see the way he looks in the videos, they're like, he looks like he's borderline homeless. So
Pretty much. Pretty much.
All right. Thank
That's funny.
you for joining today, Sean. Really appreciate it.
I listen, I've made a few changes in my life that I'm going to make an effort to be more present in these sorts of things and capacities going forward. So, yeah, anytime that you want to do one of these office hours and you're just like, hey, I feel like that's something that Sean would have insight in, hit me up.
Nope. Thank you very much. I would also like to spend more time with you because I learned a lot about a lot of stuff over the last little while, and you're the next person who I can steal knowledge from because everybody else around me knows less than I do. So
I appreciate that. And what's the joke? No, it's the line from LCD Sound System. I can feel them creeping up behind me. So I always have to say like a few steps ahead, and keep a few bits of information like close to the chest, just so you'll always be able to treat me as your father figure. Just so I'll always be able to teach you how to play catch.
I love that. I'm really hoping for my first baseball glove. Actually, it's funny. When I was doing my road trip in 2022, when I got to Wisconsin, my buddy there, Johnny, he's about my parents' age, and his son was maybe 12 or 13 at the time. But Johnny's 6'5", his wife is like 5'10", so their son at 12 is taller than I am. And we went to see a Packers game. They're throwing the football back and forth. Johnny's like, "Hey, you want to come play football with us and just throw the ball a little bit?" I'm like, "I've never learned how to throw football." So So it's very real, but my job is to sit in an air-conditioned room all day and write silly little words on my silly little computer. So I'm fine.
Well, Jonathan, it was good catching up. I'm going to go back to bookkeeping and memo writing.
I love bookkeeping and memo writing. That's your superpower, Sean McIntyre.
Hey man,
All
you
right.
gotta manage up as well as manage down. And
Yes,
that
sir.
was a sex reference.
Nope. I don't know what that is either because my dad never taught me. My uncle taught me. Sorry.
Oh, well, I'll have to show you one day.
Nice. All right, everybody say goodbye to Sean. Say thank you. And that'll be the end of office hours for me as well. Ciao, Sean. See you later.
Bye.
So thank you very much, guys, for coming. Appreciate the hanging out. I was very surprised for Sean to show up. I did not expect that. But do we have any final questions before I jump off and get back to work? Or are we good for today? Oh yeah, this was your first one. I'm glad that you got to experience Sean. He's a little bit funnier in real life than he is on camera. There's an office hour video where John teaches how to use Perplexity for premium research. Oh yeah, did you post that? You did, thank you. King Chad's AI secrets, I love that. All right, cool. Thank you very much, friends. I am sorry for showing up late today, but I will see you all on time next week, and then that'll be the last office hours in Texas, and then I'm going back to Quebec, so you'll see me in my proper setup again. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I'll see you on Friday.